There it is.
All right. Welcome to the Blue Dragon Guild. I'm Baron.
And I'm Mackenzie.
And today we are talking about Tasha's Cauldron of stuff that you would probably find in a cauldron. See, we have our first chatter in the chat, a wonderful man known as Chris Steele.
What up, Chris?
All right. So, this is the latest book that has come out from Wizards, and I think it's one of my favorite of all the books. I know Chrissy, I do not know what is exactly in the cauldron, but I'm sure it's
something, everything.
I'm sure it's arcane in nature. But yeah, as I was saying, like, this is probably my new favorite book from Wizards. There's just a lot in here, and let's jump right into it.
Sounds good.
My first impression, I love this cover, and I really hate the alternate cover, and I know Mackenzie likes the alternate cover.
Not the alternate cover. I love the back. I know that makes no sense, but I really like the back of it.
Baba Yaga's hut.
The photo, it's cool. I liked both of them pretty well. I don't know. I like that shimmer looking on this one. Like, I would have been happy with both of them. Same with the Icewind Dale book. And I was just like, well, it was there. I'm getting the alternate cover just because, let's face it, I'm a monetary value hog. So I was like, I might hold $5 more.
Yeah, you know. So, jumping right into chapter 1, character options. It starts out with customizing your origin, which I think is really cool. It's something that our group has kind of already done,
right.
But it's nice to see it laid out and say, yeah, this is actually okay. You can do this. Because there's some people that are very strict sticklers of, if it's not in the book, it's not allowed. And that's
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, that's okay in some instances, but I think, like, D&D is a game of exceptions. I mean, like, I think you should allow for your characters to go against the norm of what exactly their characters are.
That's what when I first got this book, and I read it the day it came out, like pieces of it, and I made it through the first chapter. And I mean, I even told you and other people, I went, they can just take this first chapter and throw it away. Mm-hmm. But it was just our play group, because I was already like, this is how we played, which is, like you said, there's nothing wrong with any way you play. You play by the book. That's fine. That's just how we've played since 3.5. I think we've ate food twice. Like, legit had to keep track of it.
Yeah.
Just, not saying good or bad, but then I read through it again. I was like, well, like you said, it makes sense for the people that's like, hey, it's not in the book. This isn't how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And it gives them that option, which is still, you don't have to do these options.
Yeah. I also like that they have the custom lineage thing, where it basically gives you the layouts of, you can make your own race.
Yeah, I saw that.
Which it's something that I have done as a DM, and I don't know. Do you guys think my Dom Pier's balanced? I thought so. I don't know.
I didn't think it was bad at all. I actually forgot it even wasn't in there.
There's Chris in the comments saying, no, it sucked. Thanks, Chris. You froze on me.
There it is. You froze on me.
Oh. I've experienced some wonderful technical difficulties, a good, 10 minutes before this was supposed to happen. My internet decided to go out. So
yeah,
I had to rush and get my phone set up with everything.
Buy new internet.
Yeah.
I was reading one thing in here. Obviously, which most people probably saw that or read most of this, where it was like, your ability scores. Say you pick like an elf or something, it's like, oh, you get +2 dex, +1 charisma, or whatever way you do it. You can change that by anything. As long as, you want to do a 2-1. Obviously, you can't do +3 into one stat.
Mackenzie,
all that.
Zach, I have to go let this cat into my room.
No, all right.
Keep talking though.
Okay. And there was another thing in here that I thought was kind of neat where there's like, hey, you want to change what kind of subclass you are. And it requires a training time. And I thought it just happened down after taking like fighter. Like, oh, I took champion. I don't want to take champion anymore. I just want to become a battle master.
Mm-hmm.
I saw that was a thing that could happen. I thought you could just automatically do it. They do put a kind of stipulation where it requires gold, it looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can spend a training magically, whatever, 100 gold times your new level, which is cool. I mean, that's probably going to be fairly easy, honestly, to have that much gold if you're going to switch at like level 4, because it's 400 gold. Probably going to have it, or at least we always seem to. Maybe we're just rich.
Maybe.
Uh, that gives a little bit of a control of it, which is kind of cool. Then the sudden changes, I really like that because that reminded me back in the 3.5 when I played a paladin, and the only way you could be, I think it was a Black Knight, something like that, some sort of evil path paladin was obviously do things to make you
The Blackguard.
evil. I was like, that's cool.
The Blackguard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember that.
It was.
Yeah, I think those are really cool, like subclass things. But yeah, because there's not really ever been any like this is how you do this. It's like you pick that, you're that.
Yeah.
As with like the thing with the races, like you can like set your people on a like you can get your party to go on a quest like the warlock's patron turn has become like some bad news and is really causing problems for you guys. Well, the warlock needs to break his pact, so they go on a mission, get him a new pact patron person. Yeah, I lost the words.
Yeah, I like that. It took me a minute to get used to that, which is normal because I was like, well, I don't want them just to change.
Yeah.
I was like, you picked it from the beginning, you go with that. But it's kind of the thing like Watermount, or not Watermount. That was called. I can't see without my glass. Wildmount, thanks.
Yeah.
And this book, Eberron, and something new might come out in your subclass, and you're like, I'm already level 9 into this. I didn't know this was going to be a thing. Do you want me to make this guy die and bring back his twin brother with the same name?
Yeah.
Like, no. So that's cool if it's been so long.
Yeah. So we have a ton of new subclasses in here.
Yeah. Like 30? I don't know. It's a lot.
It's a lot. They completely reprinted the Artificer.
Yeah, I noticed that.
I think the thing of it is not very many people got
The Eberron book?
Yeah, not many people got the Eberron book. Sorry, there was a cat fighting things.
The other oh, there he is.
Yep.
I was actually talking to Skylar, and he said the one part being Adventure League, and it was easier to have Artificer in this book because they can only use X amount of books in Adventure League.
Yes.
But didn't even think of that because I haven't really done Adventure League. I thought that was a good idea.
Adventures League, your character, you get the player's handbook plus one other book.
Yeah, I would definitely pick this then.
Yeah, like this is good. So I mean, like, if you pick a race out of Mordenkainen's, well, your only option is player. Yeah. So it looks like everybody's picking a race from the player's handbook and then stuff from this book. So
yeah,
I mean,
now I was looking through Artificer and I play one. There are some changes that I like. I didn't know if they changed some of the other stuff just slightly, kind of like how they changed UA to the book. A few things changed. I was like, I don't think they changed anything from Eberron to this one, but I couldn't tell because I was waiting to see like a highlighted part for me being done, being like, this is new, and I didn't see that, so I was like, it must all be the same, but I might have just overlooked it.
I want to say there was some errata stuff between everyone and this that would have been printed with this, but I don't know. I can say that looking through the Artificer, I really like the Armorer subclass that they.
I wrote down. Yep.
Because
it's like Battlesmith. I think it's Battlesmith's what it's called. The one I play, yeah. But without the metal object. It's like you are the metal object now.
well, if you remember when we were playing that game that you have your Artificer in, one of us made the joke of, can't you just make your mechanical pet be something that you can like put around yourself? Well, the armor essentially does that, just without pet, because you get two different types of armor models that you can choose between. There's the Guardian and the Infiltrator.
Mm-hmm.
Each specific important things. They're pretty self-explanatory. The Guardian one's more tanky, and the Infiltrator is more sneak-like and I don't want to say damage dealing because they both deal a pretty good amount of damage. So
I liked him a lot because there was stuff like later on where you can, this will be you can fuse at least 2 more extra items and stuff like that. So I'm probably going to look at this and talk to Chris and be like, I don't know if I'm going to change this, but I might. And it could be an easy change in the story to just be like, well, the mechanical animal I made, I just. It's like, oh, that kind of makes sense. I see what you're doing. Not just all of a sudden, like, how did you learn 6 new spells and 8 different things when we just battled with you yesterday?
Yeah. Might be a fun little quest for us to go on.
Yeah.
The thing that I like the most is that if you're missing a limb, the armor automatically becomes that limb, and I'm like, oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, because the Artificer had the one where it could make an infusion of a limb and stuff like that. It would be like a weapon.
Yeah.
They tied that in more.
Yeah.
I say Artificer weird. Sorry.
You're all right.
You have some other infusions in it too, so I gotta check out. Barbarian was cool.
For me, I've really basically just looked at Path of Wild Magic because I like magic users, so that's automatically gravitate towards, especially for someone who doesn't like Barbarian. And, like I was looking at, I was like, this one's pretty cool. But looking over Path of the Beast, I think the Path of the Beast is pretty solid as well.
It is pretty good, and I noticed this, and there wasn't one for the Artificer. The optional class features.
Yes.
And I saw most all the other ones, I believe, do have it. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. These you can just take in place of what you would normally learn at that level, or is this an addition?
I have read about 30 times trying to figure that out. Am fairly confident that it's in addition to.
Okay, consult your DM. You can either decide whether to gain a feature in this section if you meet the level requirement noted in the feature. These features can be selected separately from one another. You can use both or none of them.
To me, that reads like if you how can I word this? If it was you can take this or that, I feel it wouldn't be worded like consult your DM, because then it would just you swap this for this, even trade. So I feel that these are you can take the in addition to the regular stuff in the player's handbook.
Okay. Maybe yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You can gain, these are additional features you can gain. See you, man.
Cats. They like to fight things.
Yeah, I was digging a lot of these that were in here. They were all pretty good. There was one of them I really liked, obviously, just because I like playing it, and that was the additional stuff for the Battle Master.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I dug all that because it's always pretty sweet.
Yeah, that I like in the fighter section how they give you like a breakdown. Like you want to play this kind of character as a fighter, take this.
Yeah, I saw that.
These maneuvers, like that's really interesting. I mean, it's not
like super helpful to try to assist people. Be like this.
Yeah.
Do we freeze? Oh,
Yeah, we did. But I think probably
I think let me see here. Okay, those things may, because like I said, I haven't read all this. Now I don't have my glasses on, so it's not like I'm gonna be able to read a lot more. I mean, it's probably the same as the fighting styles, which I mean, I guess you only get to choose one fighting style. These are just added options.
yeah.
I just can't see.
Yeah, they're just that. They're just added options and
Okay.
stuff. Have you looked at the cleric stuff very in depth?
Let me go back. There was yes, because I really, really like the Twilight one.
The Twilight one is really good, but after reading through it, I think probably the Peace Domain is probably one of the best ones, and probably a lot of people are going to look over it.
I looked at that one a little bit. I liked these three a lot. I just never play clerics, so because I was reading, I was like level 1. I always forget theirs isn't 3.
Yeah. I think the best thing with peace clerics is their protective bond. Whenever they have a thing called emboldening bond, and you like put it on people you're at peace with, so your party members. Whenever one of your people goes down in combat with protective bond, you don't take, or you get like no reactions from running through enemy space to heal your friends.
I saw that. Yeah.
So I'm like, that's like the greatest thing. Like, oh, you can use a reaction to teleport within 5 feet. So I mean, like, you can just get over there to your people and help save them. Chris says that it says it's not automatic with the alternate class features. They're extra, but they're extra if you meet the requirements. So as long as you meet those, if your DM says it's cool, it's cool.
Okay. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that being said, can my druid have the wild companion so I can get find familiar?
Right. Yeah, I don't know why I like the Twilight one. It just had some cool stuff with the dark vision and letting other people see with it, and then being able to fly if you're in dark places, dim light or darkness.
I think Twilight's probably gonna be like the cleric class that gets played out of this, but that's definitely, you definitely shouldn't like sleep on the other two.
The only thing is such hey, okay.
What?
I can't fly. I can't do this. Yeah, if it's ever like that, if it's just constant daylight, like if you were in the Underdark, yeah, party down.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
In the Druid, I don't know why it's not like crazy, but I really wanted to play the Circle of the Spore. I have no idea why. I just thought it was fun.
Probably because Dave made it sound so cool when he played one that one time.
Is that what he was? Just out of the okay?
Because the Spore Druid was in the Ravnica book.
Yeah,
it's really awesome.
Okay.
One cool thing that I learned from reading some awesome tweets: the Circle of the Stars Druid, when you're in your starry form, it's like a starry form wild shape thing, you can cast spells.
Oh, okay.
That's normally not something you can do. You can't cast spells when you're in wild shape, but with the starry form wild shape, you can. Chris says we'll do it that way until Dave corrects us. I say we just do it that way, whether Dave corrects us or not.
Presume Dave got this book, right?
I have no idea.
I have no idea either. I haven't seen him in a long time.
He's working all the time, so he never has time to respond in our group chat.
Was.
We covered the fighter. I think the Psy Warrior is insane.
Yeah, that one's really cool. I really enjoyed that one. And like I said, the additional maneuvers, there were like 2 of them that I really liked.
Just for the aesthetic of what it is, I like the Room Knight. Like that just...
Yeah. I didn't get into that one. Like I just started it and then I got busy. I was like, this seems like it'd be pretty cool because there's a lot of options you could pick from there.
I mean, coming from, World of Warcraft, playing a Death Knight, like I'm like, I want my runes. I want to activate them. But I don't know. They're really cool. I watched a video from the YouTuber Taking 20, Cody. He compared the Psy Warrior to someone correct me if I'm wrong if you've seen the video. He compared Psy Warrior to Battle Master, but being more utility. I think is what he said. I watched it the other day, so it's what it is. Chris says Dave is waiting for the PDF because he's lame. So
PDF? Wasn't that it came out beforehand?
I don't know.
Same day?
Probably. It's Dave.
Or leaked a week early, I believe it was.
Hopping over the monk. I really like the optional class features. Especially the dedicated weapon, because you basically you attune, but you don't attune to your weapon, and it counts as a monk weapon for you. So if you're an elf, elves automatically are proficient with long swords. Long sword's not usually a monk weapon, but with this, you can make it a monk weapon.
That's pretty good. I love the thing with Tasha there. That one, it made me laugh. The Plague Doctor, some looks never go out of style.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny.
There's a lot of really...
It's worth nothing. It does nothing.
Yeah.
It's funny.
There's a lot of awesome, flavor stuff in this that I really like.
Yeah. I didn't read much of the monk. I will. Me, I get a book and I just want to sit on the shelf and look real good for about 5 months until I actually want to do something, or any of these games behind me.
I really like both of them. I've looked through them, but I don't necessarily remember everything. But they're both really cool. I think they kind of give Monk a nice little bump from what it needed.
Yeah.
I don't think it was the worst class. It was one of the less good classes. But in the right party, I've seen Monk be really good. Chris says, Way of Mercy Monk is amazing. You can play them like an angel of death and release people from the pain of suffering. Release. So, yeah, that is actually kind of cool sounding. So, I have to read up on that one some more.
Oh, Skylar sent me a text. He said, yeah, Twilight's really good. Star's good. I can't see without my glasses. Peace is busted. And then there's something about the UA. I can't read it all without my glasses, so sorry. Gives you spell options with the Rune Knight. Yeah, sorry. I saw my phone go off and didn't know what it was. I don't know if he can. He can obviously hear me. I don't know if he can see or get in that box over here. I don't know how you get over there.
I have no idea.
Ranger we can skip, because D&D does.
No way, Ranger's cool now. Besides, you skip Paladin.
I didn't read all this edition because I'm like, I don't like any of these.
Chrissy, absolutely take Chris's book and read up on all of them. You may discover something fun for your rogue that you want to do.
blind.
My absolute favorite thing in the Paladin is the Blessed Warrior. It gives you cantrips as a Paladin, and immediately I'm going to Sacred Flame and Toll the Dead.
Yeah.
Like Sacred Flame is a great spell. T the D, my favorite spell. So
Loves it.
But of the oaths, Glory's good. Watchers, really good. Just it
Correct.
I think probably at lower levels, the Watchers probably isn't going to be super helpful just because it's pretty specific with the kind of things that it deals with. But I mean, like if you're doing
what was that one? I'm sorry.
the Oath of the Watchers for the Paladin.
Okay, yeah.
It's like getting rid of extra planar forces, so like fiends, fae. At lower levels, you're still gonna have it, but it won't be as like I guess widespread.
Yeah.
But like if you're doing a level 20 game, it'll be great. Welcome, Jessica. Glad you could make it. On the Ranger, I also like that you can get cantrips. And I don't remember. Oh, of the...
It's more fighting styles.
Yeah, it's in the fighting styles. The Druid
Yeah.
get more cantrips. Or you get the ability to learn cantrips.
From the Druid, yeah.
I think my favorite of the Druid ones is the Swarm Keeper. Number one, because it sounds really cool. And you get some cool stuff. I mean, you learn Mage Hand.
Yeah, I saw that. And then you can use Mage Hand to do something else.
Yeah, like you...
That's great.
I don't know, like you basically I'm like, so I'm Shino from Naruto. Skylar is probably the only one in the group chat right now who understands that reference. So thanks, Skylar. But I think they're pretty cool. Yeah. I like the Beast Master companions that you can get.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Like I said, without my glasses, I'm like useless, but I can't wear them because the glare comes off, and then I can't see myself in the screen anyway.
Yeah, you know. Each one of the Beastmaster companions, they're designed specifically for certain things: beast of land, sea, and sky. Which one of the rogues did you like the most?
Let me see here. I got my notes. I think it was.
I took notes, but I don't know where I put them.
The Phantom one. I just like the idea, all that kind of stuff. Like back when it was like Gloom Striker. Don't remember. Is that the name of it? When the Ranger. Gloom. Yeah. I'd like anything here. Do this. That's why I like the Twilight Druid back there, and this one just being, Ghost Walk. I'm like, oh, that's cool. I'm in.
Yeah, Ghost Walk is ridiculous. I think that basically like the idea of like, all right, this rogue is legit like a ghost guy. I mean, he's not legitimately a ghost,
Right.
and like you could play it off like that, like, oh, I'm literally a ghost. I was never here. Ooh.
Play a hollowed one. This, and then take 3 in fighters so you can get the Echo Warrior. All right, you ready? Got a lot going on here. I didn't read Sorcerer. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I don't ever really play one, so I didn't jump into it.
I also did not read Sorcerer.
Hilarious. I mean, this is not a review.
What?
It's like, hey, here's some cool stuff, or here's us.
Sure. I have no idea what you said.
Praised.
Yeah. Yeah, like Sorcerer is my least favorite caster class. I don't know why. They're just not my favorite. But like the Aberrant Mind seems pretty cool, as does the Clockwork Soul. I'm sure I'll read them at some point. Just
You're right.
it's not happening right now. Warlock. I think
So you look this over.
I think both of the Warlock patrons that are in this are phenomenal. I was leaning toward the Genie one, and then I read the Fathomless one, and the Fathomless one just stomps the Genie into the ground. The tentacles that you can summon to deal damage are just, it's ridiculous. I kind of want to switch my Fey Warlock to this kind of Warlock at some point.
Hey, the book lets you.
Yeah. So there's that. But the Genie one, that's the one I've read the most. So it's the one I have like the most like immediate knowledge of. It's awesome. I think that in like an urban campaign, the Genie one is probably going to be your party's best friend. Because I mean, at a certain level, you can just be like, "All right, guys, hop in my vessel." Everybody's inside. Yes, it's me alone here, coming into the castle. There's definitely nobody. And then you get in the castle and you let all your friends out. There you go.
What's great is you were saying that as in playing the game, and I
Yeah.
don't have my glasses like I've stated 12 times. And I looked at the chat going, what is he reading? But he was like, yeah, I am here alone. Like somebody called you out. Like, where you at? I was like, all right.
I'm at home. We are not together. The wizard stuff. I've also technically not read the wizard stuff.
Hey, we're giving you all the good tips.
Yeah. The Blade Singer stuff, that was in the Sword Coast Guide to the Sword Coast. I don't remember.
All right. I like how you get extra attack as one of the wizards. That's cool.
I also like that they drop the Elven requirement to be a Blade Singer, because that was a part of it in the book.
I didn't know that.
Sword Coast Adventurer's Guide.
I didn't know that at all.
Daikini in a Cage.
That Sky Dog.
Yeah, I was going to say, AKA that guy we all know. His overall issues with Tasha's is we make more and more subclasses instead of building base classes up, and not create subclasses that form a power level, nullify other subclasses. And yeah, I can definitely see that. I mean, Ranger is quite clearly showing that it's not a powerful like base class. So just putting out more subclasses that are really good is not going to fix what sucks with the base class.
Do you think they'll ever do, because I think they did in old editions, like Player's Handbook 2? Or do you think they'll just be like, we'll just put out more subclasses?
Player's Handbook 2, no, we won't. I would say we won't get that, just because just because Xanathar's Guide and this book are basically Player's Handbook 2 / Dungeon Master's Guide 2, and then so on and so forth.
And two people put this guy's name above is the single greatest username.
Yeah.
Skylar's.
If you do not know what a Daikini is, watch Willow. That's all we're saying.
Got Wicked Warwick, not in Wicked form.
Yes. Yeah, so that's that. The feats, I'm 90% sure that these have not changed since the Unearthed Arcana that all these feats are in.
Which is funny because they're all brand new to me because I don't look at a single thing that's Unearthed Arcana.
And that's your loss.
So, whatever. It gets changed. I gotta learn things twice.
I think the greatest feat of all of these is Chef, and I'll stand by that.
Hey, I fought one before. He was tough.
I mean, as part of a short rest, you can cook special food provided you have the ingredients.
Right. No restriction.
It lets you heal extra. I mean, that's good stuff.
Yeah,
but
man.
Also, like feats
Crusher's
like
cool.
Crusher, Piercer, Slasher, those really
Gunner, if you have guns, is always a thing.
Give a I don't know the words now. I've lost the words. Specialization. Those give like a better specialization for people that are using those weapons. So that's a really awesome thing. The cool thing is it says when you hit a creature with an attack, not weapon attack. So that's a really big distinction that you have to make. So I would assume that would allow for spell attacks that did that sort of thing, but I think maybe
it cut out on what you said. What feat was that?
Like Crusher, Piercer, Slasher. It just says when you hit a creature with an attack that deals slashing damage. It doesn't say specifically a weapon attack.
That is true.
So if you have something else that does those, like if you're a druid and you go into your bear form,
yeah,
that you can benefit from this feat. So
that's really cool idea.
Great.
I didn't catch that at all, but yeah.
Mike Depew says your mom is a really big distinction that you have to make. Okay, thank you, Mike.
We'd have to make another video for me to make fun of Mike.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is a good idea. I did not think about the slashing, bludgeoning, or anything not being just straight up sword.
Yeah.
Didn't think of that.
Yep.
That's a pretty good idea. Question, because I didn't see the inside of yours. I would not think they would also print the inside of a book different. At the beginning of chapter 2, what is your picture to the left?
It's a unicorn in a wooded area.
Okay.
I'm lying.
I figured.
It's yours.
Okay. Oh yeah. I really didn't think they'd take the time to make the insides different. But I thought, did people actually look it up? Probably not.
Mike says he loves us. We love you too, Mike. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.
Kaylee says that it's cool that she's related to Mackenzie, and
oh my god,
as someone who is also related to Mackenzie, I definitely think it's cool.
Excellent.
So chapter 2,
my name's spelled wrong.
Chapter 2, we've got the group patrons, and this is something that I've dabbled in as a DM for you guys, but I never really put like any kind of like, I guess, super significance behind it.
Yeah.
But I think it's really cool.
I think it helps DMs a little bit that are missing why they also want these people to be connected.
Yeah. You know? Yes.
So it kind of gives them that little bit more.
If you remember the game with the undead game that I had, you guys were all part of that guild, and that's why you were together. That's why you were there.
Yes.
So that would line up with being a group patron, but this just kind of like lays out some like different things that you can do. My favorite one is the Ancient Being, because you could have your party working
with a lich or something. Yeah.
Even like the Elder Dragon, I think is cool. They're all cool. What am I saying? They're just good.
What's good is it also gives you a little extra thing too. Like, you get your gift or something from following this reason you're doing this.
Yeah, you write a letter to your patron. You're just like, hey, boss, we need about 35 greater healing potions. So if you could send that our way.
It's another thing that kind of helps the players a lot, is what it is.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've noticed that a lot more in 5th edition. It's almost like this book they needed to put out when they put the player's handbook to tell people, hey, it's all right. Here's more things. Here's how to do this. Here's how to make this simpler, which that was what 5th edition was doing.
Yeah.
Like this could have came out right at the beginning, and it probably would have, saved a lot of other groups that were like, hey, it's not in the book, it's not there. Where our group was just like, hey, we get it.
Yeah, like we've played long enough that like, we're all right. This is just a thing. It's happening.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of new players to D&D, and they they may not register how to do these kind of things. I mean, they don't have the play time, and like so they're gonna think of it, but they're not gonna implement it as soon as maybe they want to. I don't know if that makes sense, but
it's almost like they needed the gratification or clearance. Like, yes, this is a thing.
Yeah, the go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. And with, so many groups nowadays, big groups, big actors, D&D has got even bigger.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's a lot of new people jumping into it.
Yep. Skylar says tea. We can make some.
Oh, that I can't. Man, I'm blind.
Probably put your glasses on.
You make me. The spells are always cool.
Yep.
Get new cantrips.
I like the way that they divided the spells up on this first page. It tells you what school they're from, what class gets them, and what level it is. And I think that's like the greatest thing ever.
So thank you. I don't know why players need a table. Talk spells out for them. Oh, yeah. Yep. It kind of just like, it isn't more of a, hey, let me give you, clearance of it.
Yeah.
Which is such or, talking beforehand, like, hey, you can change kind of this stuff later.
Yeah.
It's just more of a clearance.
Yeah.
I do like some of the new cantrips.
Mind Sliver. That's my favorite one.
Mind Sliver. Hold up. Oh, cantrip. Gotcha. My brain is... Yeah, there it is. You drive a spike of psychic energy into the mind of a creature. The target must succeed on intelligence throw. And subtract a 1d4 for the next saving throw. That's kind of neat.
So basically, you hit them with a spell save, and if they fail, they take a d6 of psychic damage, and they subtract a d4 from their next saving throw it makes before the end of their turn. So if you're going before the second wizard in your party, and he's like, I'm gonna cast it off, we need to make sure it goes through, you throw down a mind sliver on them, they got disadvantage on their next save, so it'll be good. They'll maybe not pass. If there's one thing that we've learned in all of our play time, whether you have advantage or disadvantage, you can still roll really bad or really great.
Yep. That don't matter. Don't matter. I don't think I have any other spells. I was like,
my other favorite one is Tasha's Mind Whip. They take, when they fail to save, they take 3d6 fire damage, and they can't take a reaction until the end of its next turn. And on its next turn, they have to choose whether they get a move, an action, or a bonus action. It only gets one of the three.
No, magic card that does that. Pretty good. That's what it reminds me of.
Tasha's Mind Whip?
No, some blue card. It's like a person with a disc.
I know.
What was that?
I knew it was a blue card.
Well, yeah, I mean, come on. Uh, I like the two cantrips that were kind of similar. The booming blade and lightning lure. I
Um,
just like cantrips because I can do them 1,000 times.
Booming Blade is good. It and Green Flame Blade were both in the Sword Coast book.
Oh, okay.
They they go hand in hand with being a blade singer, so there's that. Lightning Lure is really good.
You can throw or pull them, which was cool.
Yes. Chris and I had a conversation about this, and between it and Thorn Whip, with the ability to move, I I think Thorn Whip is superior only because you have a greater range, and it can benefit from Spell Sniper doubling its range
Oh,
to
okay.
60 feet, so you can have a 60-foot Thorn Whip.
Yeah.
But that being said, Lightning Lure is still really, really good because you get a D8 of lightning damage and you have a 15-foot radius. So anybody within, or a creature within 15 feet of you, you can zap them with lightning and pull them to a straight line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right down a hole.
No, we do that with Thunderwave, remember?
That's true. It's true.
Oh, hey, kitty.
See ya.
Magic items. I think it goes without saying that magic tattoos are awesome, and I think
Yeah, it's really neat.
that they should have been there a lot longer ago.
I'm really excited.
What?
I'm really excited for it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. All of them are good in their own right. It really just depends on what you want to do with them. I think the Baba Yaga's mortar and pestle is awesome. It's like gigantic, which is kind of funny because I was looking at it and I was like, okay, that seems cool. And then it says it's like, where I don't remember where it's at. Oh yeah, there's enough space to fit a creature inside. It can hold a large sized creature in it. So I'm like, okay, this is a weird magic item, but it's really, really cool.
Is it? Wait, the Baba Yaga.
But
I think it's an artifact, isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
One thing that
Cool.
one thing I thought was lame, but yet it made sense. There's the astral shard, there's like shadow shard, phase shard, all through here.
Yeah.
They all require attunements for sorcerers, and I thought that was lame because there's like barely anything in here that druids get, and as a person who is currently playing a druid, I want more druid stuff.
You can use stones.
Not those ones.
Not those ones. The one thing that was weird to me with the tattoos, which, hey, I think Tasha just forgot to write it in there. She's busy. It says, common area covered, one hand or foot or a quarter of a limb. Rare is like one limb. Legendary, 2 limbs and a torso. Hey, man, you want tattoos? Just put them wherever you want.
Tattoos are bad.
I don't care. Face isn't even on here.
Yeah. Yeah. They're all really cool. I think I don't know, they're all everything in here is really cool. It has a really good there's a lot of good stuff for casters in these magic items.
Well, yeah, I would, yeah.
Just not for druid.
Which is strange because you would feel they would push to the casters with Tasha being
Tasha. She's not a druid. She's not a druid, so
right, yeah.
Hence, if you want to go that route, but I mean, we need more stuff for druids.
Swords also seem like something a warlock would have. Yeah.
I also agree with that. So I guess depending on, what the shard does, maybe as a DM you could modify it, maybe not. I know they have something to do with like meta magic stuff.
What if it would have just been an intelligence requirement?
Then anybody could do it.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's why it's like requires attunement by a caster.
Yeah.
Or
that's true.
thief rogue of level 13 or higher. Then there's the stuff that I really haven't read over here in chapter 4, which is the Dungeon Master's tools.
Dungeon Master. I think I read some of these. Well, yeah, I did. This is more of a, we're going to put this in here for people that literally have not probably played this, or that's not written. We're not doing it. That's a lot of what's in here.
Yeah.
It's like, what can I say or do that's going to make you uncomfortable?
Mm-hmm.
We know each other. We know that conversation. I'm sure the first time, anytime a new player comes in, that normally happens.
Yeah.
Somehow, I don't think it was written anywhere. If it was, I didn't see it.
Yeah.
So, but I understood, if someone has something tragic in their life, I'm not going to put this in here for fun.
Yeah.
But it's something like that. It talks about like if you have hard limits, soft limits, customization stuff to try to figure out beforehand. It's normal house rules, which people have stuff anyway. Like I know sometimes it's like, I'm going to drink this potion while walking. Maybe an action, could be a bonus action, could be this. And it just kind of breaks that down more for people. It looks like that needed that 100% clearance, 100% written down specification. That's what that beginning part of that looks like.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, us as a group, all of us have been doing that for, I don't know, 12 years.
We've been playing 5th edition since 2014, so 6 years. So I mean, like we've played. It is what it is. No matter what, we make fun of Tommy.
And then it has a sidekick part.
Yeah. I think the sidekicks are really cool. I know Chris is extremely excited about the sidekicks.
That's right. He loves them.
He loves sidekicks. I think it's because he wanted to be one when he was a kid.
That's true. And then he grew up.
Yes.
Too big to be a sidekick.
But the sidekicks are really cool for being what they are, a sidekick, being like an NPC. Or say you have a character die and the party's like, we're going to resurrect him, we're going to get him back. Well, then that player can come in and play a sidekick until their main character gets back, and then the sidekick goes on about their merry way.
Now, well, the other thing that's funny is it can make D&D so one other person, and then they can give them a sidekick. And they're not playing two characters, essentially, but they're playing a sidekick and themselves. So it's almost like not solitaire, because there is a DM and other guys, it's not one person, but it even talks about that in here.
Yeah. I mean, you like a one-on-one game. I mean, yeah.
I think it would be great, and we should try it, where we all just play sidekicks, and we can be the group that's ahead of a main group, that's behind them, that they're doing something. We're like, oh, we're going to do this lesser thing to not get them to get distracted.
I think we should be the people behind the group cleaning up the problems that they created.
So all the little small jobs.
Tommy has to be in the other group. Tommy is lame, and Tommy, if you're watching, and I know you're not, you're lame.
It was frozen the entire time. So it was just, and I know you're not. So I'm like, I don't know what he said. No, we did not. Kaylee asked, do you guys play on the first D&D that came out in the 80s? I've never played original D&D.
No. I think advanced D&D was in the 80s. So 2nd edition. Yes, that's not something we've played.
I have books from it.
Same.
But I've never played it.
Yeah. Then we flip through and we find there's a thing on parlaying with monsters, which is something that I have always made an option in my games.
Yeah.
Because I think it's I think it's a good thing to exercise. Like, all right, just because it's a monster doesn't mean you have to kill it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Chris says he wants to play one of the sidekicks when one of his characters dies. Mackenzie, that means he wants his wizard to die.
At all times.
At all times. Then we go over and we
had an owlbear in a campaign once that we could have been friends with, and we killed it before even walking up to it.
I don't remember that.
It stole Dave's hat.
That was not an owlbear.
Okay.
It stole Chris's hat.
Okay.
It was just like a regular owl, and Chris thought it was like a wild animal, so he, like, attacked it, and then after killing it, he learned that they're like sentient and can talk, and then he felt.
We were like, nope, just needed the hat back.
Yeah. Then we've got environmental hazards and like supernatural regions, and I think every single one of these are amazing.
Yeah, it's that more again. Here is some more assistance. Let me show you. Roll and use this. Yeah. That's a lot of what this book is.
Which isn't bad.
Yeah.
So it
could almost be a set.
I think it's fun. I mean, I think going to an infested city just with spiders everywhere is probably your worst nightmare.
Yeah, I'd be out.
Yeah.
Mirror Zone was cool. It's just
Mirror Zone is
different.
Cool. I like the psychic resonance one.
Yeah. Snake Boat. But it's not called Snake Boat.
Oh,
it's called something else.
The Eldritch Storm is awesome.
Snake Boat.
Storm flying through. That's magical phenomena.
Chris said it was a giant owl.
A giant owl.
Yeah, we were close.
I think my favorite of the what are they called again? The enchanted or magical phenomena. I think my favorite one, and Chris will agree, the Mimic Colony.
Oh yeah, that's pretty great.
We've talked and joked for a long time about like the Mimic House. This basically makes the Mimic House a thing, and
it's a mimic.
I think it's awesome. Then there's the
world's a mimic.
The primal fruit thing, and that's something that I have actually used in a game.
Yes.
Like magic fruit coming from like a world tree.
Yep.
And like, I think it's really cool. Then we have natural hazards. It makes sense. Then we get into the puzzles, and I don't like these puzzles.
You don't like those?
No.
Oh man, I read a few of them and I dug them. It's just another, as we mentioned many times. That was somebody's a giant owl. Sorry. So I liked them because it gives you puzzles. I know there's another book that is giving you some puzzles, I believe, but I just always liked that stuff, and I thought it was cool that they stuck some in for players that like, I want a puzzle, but I just don't know how to make it. It's just gonna be so simple or generic. And these are kind of cool.
I don't think they're fleshed out enough. I think they give you like the bare bones, but they don't really give you enough to get to the end of the puzzle to make sure everything is good.
Yeah.
But
I mean, the first one, it says easy, and I had to read it about twice, but I'm not a great reader. And I'm like, that's kind of neat.
Fenris Wolf 007 says a giant owl with a mohawk. Maybe it did have a mohawk. I don't know.
We didn't have time to ask it.
Chris is the only one who went to find it, so.
It's true.
With DM tools, it is just scratches the surface. What XP does bargaining with a monster grant you its CR. Overall, a lot of options already spelled out. And Pathfinder 2E Numenaria.
It doesn't have anything that just gives you XP for talking. I know it gives you XP for avoiding things, because it's the same as killing it.
To me, like when it comes to like an encounter, it doesn't necessarily always mean you fight it and you get the XP. It means like if you talk to it and you solve it that way and everything's good, like to me, like, all right, you resolved that encounter, you get the XP.
Right.
Some DMs don't do that. It's like you have to kill it to get the XP. I don't even use XP. So there's that.
Yeah, a lot of them on that. No, my camera is from a computer from 2019 that Caitlin bought. I don't know why it's poor.
Who knows? Chris is a giant owl with a mohawk. That is 100% true.
But yeah, there are a lot of puzzles in here. I didn't read them all. I was just like, hey, cool puzzles.
Yeah. So, yeah, that brings us to the end of what is in the Tasha's book. We didn't cover necessarily everything, but we hit a lot of the high points. If you're watching this after the live stream, I will put a link to where you can buy your own, if that's something that you are interested in. I did pick out that laptop Mackenzie is on.
Hey, it looks fine on my end.
Stock laptop, web
Yep.
never good, so I can't be. But as I was saying, yes, this is the end of Tasha's. We'll put a link to where you can go find it if you're watching this afterwards. So I think my overall thoughts on the Tasha's book are, this is great. I think I think it's worth your time to get. I honestly would say, I think I would honestly say you get your player's handbook, you get your Dungeon Master Guide, you get the Tasha's book. I would honestly say go in that order. But everybody's different, so maybe not.
See, mine was get the player's handbook, no order, monster manual, Volo, this, and then the Dungeon Master. Those would be in my top 5, definitely.
I think you should get the Sword Coast Adventure.
Sword Coast Adventure, Salt Marsh, the printed handout that comes from the first starter kit, nothing else.
The book, which is technically Forgotten Realms canon, it's just not Wizards published.
And then just page 9 of the Yawning Portal.
Yep, page 9. So with that goofiness said, Tasha's, it's a great book. You should look into it if you want some D&D stuff in your life. And I believe that's it.
That's it. That was just a fun talk, a fun live. I liked it.
Yes. So thank you everyone for watching, for talking to us in the chat. We had a lot of fun. So until then, keep the dice rolling.